it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today. Have you seen the new SugarPea designs in Simon Says STAMPtember exclusive? If you haven't, today is the day that this one is being revealed and I love it. This is Koalaty Time and look at all of these adorable koalas. Aren't they cute? I thought these would be fun to make some cute cards with, so I ended up creating a total of 3 cards. On all of the cards, I'm going to be using these wrap stitched rectangle dies and also the halftone hearts. That's how I created the windows that you see on these panels. I started off my cards by stamping the koalas onto some Bristol cardstock. I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring, and I actually have really enjoyed using the Bristol paper with the Copic markers. So I stamped all the images in Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink, and now I'm going to go ahead and color them in with some toner gray markers. I'm only going to show you the coloring of one of the koalas simply because I colored them all exactly the same. And then any elements that are with the koalas, I actually just really colored very simply. I didn't go too crazy with detail. So I started off by adding a T0 base coat on all of the koalas. And then I added T2, T4, and also a little bit of T6. I did stippling with all of these markers after I got the base amount of shading on. I went over top of all those shaded areas, added some stippling. This gives the critters a little bit more of a furry appearance, and then I blended that out with the lighter markers. I also used a 0 marker to add some highlights to the fur, and I really think it makes a very furry looking critter. I think it's a really easy and fun way to make the koalas look like they have a texture. And then on all of the koalas, I also added a little bit of R000 and an R11 marker, and that was what I used to color in their ears and noses and add a little bit of rosy cheeks to their faces. Okay, so card number 1. This is the first card that I created with that stamp set. These critters are so cute. I love the one sitting in the tree. So I created a little scene with this one. I actually created scenes on all of them, but this one has a sunny sky scene. So I've got a few die cut things that I've already created. The sun that you see here I created with a neat and tangled Sunburst die, and also the circle was created with a Simon Says Stamp basic circle die. So I die cut those with some yellow cardstocks. The clouds are created with Lawn Fawn's Puffy Cloud border dies, and I cut that from some Nina. I also used a Copic marker. This is T0, and I just used that to add a little bit of shading to the nooks and crannies of these clouds. That just makes them a little bit more dimensional. Now I started off by adding some foam tape to the back side of my panel so that way I can pop this up. And then I attached this down over top of my surf blue sky, which I already had the sun and cloud attached to using some liquid glue. So these were very simple to put together, and I just popped this up off of that little scene that we created very simply. Then onto a green apple card base, I'm stamping the Simon Says Stamp Grid Play stamp. This is a beautiful background stamp that really makes a great grid pattern. And I'm actually going to make this look a little bit more interesting in a few minutes here. So I stamped that down, and you can see the grid here. This is great for also working with the Grid Play stamps that Simon created for the Simon Says STAMPtember release. So I'm attaching my scene down onto my panel. I'm adding a little bit of Spectrum Noir clear glitter over top of the sun. These cards are very simple, so I'm making sure to add little details like this to make the cards come to life. A clean and simple card looks so amazing when you add these little tiny details that make such an impact. So I also added some black glaze pen to the eyes and a couple of hearts from Doodlebug's Rainbow Sprinkles collection. Now this is where I'm adding a little bit of interest to the grid background. I'm using a Copic marker in a color that was coordinating nicely with the green card base, and I'm going ahead and coloring in every other square of the grid. That's going to give me a nice plaid pattern. And then I finished off the card by adding a sentiment using the Koalaty Time stamp set, and I stamped that onto some surf blue cardstock to match the sky, and I used some white embossing powder. This card is so cute and would be perfect for giving to somebody that you want to encourage. I really love those 2 koalas sitting together in that tree. Now, just as fun is this card here. This one makes me smile. I love rainbows. Rainbows are so beautiful and have such a happy appearance to them. So I used this koala who's holding a heart balloon, and I thought it'd be fun to make a little birthday scene for him. Now, the heart balloon matches perfectly with Simon's Cuddly Critters accessories stamp set and coordinating dies. So I used those to make a bunch of balloons, which I colored in rainbow colors, and that's going to give me a whole bunch of balloons for this little koala to have that coordinates so perfectly with the balloon that he's already holding. So I attached those into my little heart panel, and then I'm going to add some foam tape to the back side of that so I can pop it up off of this purple card base. Now this card base I cut down using those same wrapped stitches dies from Memory Box. And then I'm going to attach that down onto a Nina Solar White card base. I wanted the card base to have the stitching details, so this is a great and easy way to add that. That purple is going to give me a great background for behind my heart panel. And then I also used some Simon Says Stamp new sequins. These are the Pixie Dust sequins. And I attached these down using my jewel picker and some PPA matte adhesive. And these sequins match perfectly with the colors that I used in the card. I also used a sentiment from the stamp set that says "Have a happy birthday." And I stamped that down onto some yellow cardstock. This is Sunshine Yellow from Simon. And because balloons always need to have some shine to them, I added some Spectrum Noir clear glitter, and I also used some glossy accents to add a beautiful sheen over top of the balloons. It makes the balloons just come to life. Now the final card that I created with this set, I actually didn't film. I have all the details on it over at my blog. So if you head on over there, you'll find out all the information on how I created this card and the supplies that I used to do it. Also on my blog, I have all the information on the Copic colors that I used to color in the images, as well as all the supplies listed out in picture links so you can easily find everything that I used on each card. Now remember that this set from SugarPea Designs and Simon Says Stamp is part of their STAMPtember exclusives, which means that once this set sells out, it won't be coming back. It's a limited edition set. So if you really like it, I would encourage you to head on over to the Simon Says Stamp shop and pick it up. Also remember that there is another exclusive coming out tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's a surprise. But I do have a project to share featuring that set. And if you stop back over tomorrow, you'll be able to see that in action. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up. And you can subscribe to my channel for more inspiration. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Bye!